Blue Lock chapter 337 has just released. After Hiori ties the score against France, Isagi is still wondering what side to believe in. Karasu jumps in, telling Isagi about his new methods, and Isagi confronts Karasu, leading to one of the most heated debates in the series. Y'all, a civil war is officially starting. Two sides of Blue Lock are being created, so it's up to us to decide who is right and who is wrong. There's a lot to talk about, so let's jump into it quick. The chapter picks up with Blue Lock celebrating Hiyori's goal. We see Chigiri jump on top of Hiyori's shoulders. Bachira is just slipping and sliding around. And Aryu has me hella dead because bro is just posing in the back. That Hiori goal was so unexpected, so it's cool to see him get his applause and flowers. The commentators say Blue Lock has finally caught up. This heated battle is far from over. It starts here as the crowd erupts into cheers as well. We then jump over to Isagi, who isn't really celebrating, but asking the same question from last chapter. What is happening in Blue Lock right now? Where is the team heading? He stands there asking himself what should he believe in, and looking over to the side, we see Ego with his hands folded just looking at the team. This pose is seriously reserved for the greatest thoughts of all time. The person who came up with the air fryer definitely hit this pose too, so Ego has to be deep in thought. Isagi says Ego's name, sort of hoping for an answer, and then it starts, y'all. Karasu is on Isagi's side, telling him, hey, listen up, while Isagi is taken off guard. And what proceeds for the rest of this chapter is what you call real hands. The gloves are off, and it gets heated. Firstly, Karasu, looking in a good mood, tells Isagi we're going with the current way of doing things, which Isagi is confused at, and he clarifies that the marking on him was so tight, the strategy they prepared wasn't functioning at all. So like he did just now, he's gonna completely commit to being a support. He continues that he's gonna invent a new goal pattern through a route other than Isagi, and says, to beat France right now, this is the only way, isn't it? And after scoring that goal and assist, the damn fit upgrade, it's understandable why Karasu wants to switch up the method. But as you know, Isagi already doesn't like the idea of this. So he asks a question to Karasu. Is it okay for him to just throw away his life as a striker? This got Karasu with the eyes wide open, like he can't even believe what he's hearing right now. He's taken aback, saying, not really. He's not saying he's throwing it away. Then Karasu pulls out the Isagi files and says, hasn't Isagi done this before too? Switching to an assist temporarily or becoming a link-up player in order to get the result that makes the team win. Isagi can't even deny this, saying, yeah, but, which gets interrupted by Karasu, who says right now he's just doing the same thing as that. He then brings up if Isagi starts talking about the way as a striker, then what about Gagamaru playing as a goalkeeper, or the other players playing as defenders? They wouldn't be able to do their jobs. Isagi says that he's right, but somehow he feels a sense of wrongness coming from him right now. And low-key, Isagi, what is that even supposed to mean? I get what Isagi is trying to say from a reader's perspective, but imagine being Karasu here. Someone just tells you your vibes are off after assisting a goal and saving the team. Bro's recreating the Marvel rival situation. Isagi trying to play for the vibes. And Karasu thinks Isagi's straight bugging. He's not trying to hear none of that. Asking him, what's that even supposed to mean? Don't go denying it just because he can't put it into words. Karasu, with his crow on him, says, at the very least, unlike you, the current me is trying to change for the sake of Blue Lock, you idiot. But after hearing this though, Isagi makes a realization and can now use this. He starts telling Karasu, that's it, that's the true nature of this wrongness I feel. So it's not just the vibes. Again, we knew this as readers already because we can see into Isagi's mind, but Karasu is confused and Isagi starts telling Karasu it's weird for him to say he's doing it for Blue Lock. Playing football where the subject isn't for myself, he can't believe that's the right way to be an egoist. And the shots are fired because Karasu hits Isagi with the emotionless side eye of doom and despair. You can just see the pure hatred in his eyes. It's making me feel like I did something wrong. In other words, Isagi pretty much calling Karasu unfit to be an egoist, which is the foundation for his argument. And in a way, Isagi is right too, because Blue Lock is about putting putting yourself as the number one. The thing is, Karasu is the one who just got an assist and honestly created that goal for us, yet Isagi is the one who's been ineffective so far, and he's still telling Karasu his way is wrong. Those are the two sides, and both have their rights and wrongs. We jump back straight into the debate though, with Isagi saying everyone aims to be the world's number one striker. He's bending that philosophy and being influenced by Hugo's words. Bachira, Chigiri, and Hiori are staring as well, wondering what's going on, and we see Isagi straight up tell Karasu that as the number two, he's making the team winning the top priority. The current U is absolutely wrong for BLUELOCK. Yo! Isagi is not holding back. Straight flaming bro for even existing is crazy. In front of the whole gang too. I just know the cameraman is recording this conversation up close and personal. And Karasu is not taking any of that because in a blacked out text box, he says, fine, then you go score a goal, you piece of trash. Holy mother of pearl, it's getting heated in here. Grab your popcorn, folks, and your favorite snacks, because this is cinema. Let's be honest, though. Karasu's crash out is justified here, because, again, he did just get an assist, but we jump over to Isagi being confused, saying, what? And Karasu continues that since Isagi is not working out as a striker, he's over here trying to recompensate and change by taking in the opinions of the enemy. Or what? Is it more BLUELOCK-like for us to get crushed by France just for Isagi Yoichi's sake? And he's not done yet, folks, because he finishes saying the one who's trying to destroy BLUELOCK by acting like a number one and spinning his wheels is you ordinary person. Oh my god. Every single line in this chapter got you reacting like I show speed. Now Karasu is back to calling Isagi mid. The switch up is crazy though. Wasn't he calling bro the Demon King last game too? Isagi just seen his dogs turn into snakes. And peep his reaction too. You could just tell a crash out is incoming. And in the next page, we see bro start yelling at Karasu. Isagi says him too. He was thinking about BLUELOCK too. But this panel is just not a good look for Isagi. Karasu nonchalant posed up low cortisol. Bro out here thinking he Ayana Koji. And Isagi is screaming like a banshee. Veins popping and everything. This is an image seen around the world. Many timelines have had this same exact experience. One mad person and a nonchalant person. Isagi, still yelling at the top of his lungs, tells Karasu he's standing here having thought about how he should be as BLUELOCK's number one for the sake of BLUELOCK. But Karasu hits him with the counter, telling Isagi he's saying for the sake of BLUELOCK. How is that any different from him? Landing a finishing blow on bro. And this was a little sloppy on Isagi's part, because Karasu's words hit him like a truck, and all he can say is ah. But before it can escalate anymore, Aiku comes in pretty much telling them, whoa, they both need to calm down. I'm getting a feeling of deja vu because this was the exact same scenario that happened before. I know we talk about Shido and Rin not coexisting, but these two might just be as bad. Aiku smiles and calms down the situation by saying both are correct. How about thinking of it that way? He continues that the results came from the way Karasu suggested, or Karasu's philosophy. And the egotistical philosophy Isagi is talking about is important too. So taking both in account, he fist bumps his hands and saying, let them clash intensely. We'll find a new form for BLUELOCK and win. How does that sound? Flashing a smile to end it off. And Aiku really showing why he's the captain, man. Cooling down the team and acknowledging of both sides. Truly a W Aiku moment. We made the right person famous. Anyways, Isagi agrees kind of reluctantly, and Karasu says fine. Either way, BLUELOCK, it seems like if they don't change now, it's gonna be over. While we see Jinpachi Ego still leaning forward, so he gotta be cooking something up. We now jump over to France's reaction to the goal, with Charles saying they caught up, Loki saying this way is better because it'll be more enjoyable than a total blowout, but worse than both of them, Hugo agrees, saying from here on, he will lead this battlefield even further. towards destiny, passing the ball and restarting the game. We see the ball go straight to Loki, and Itoshi Rin pulls up, telling them to give it a shot, you flawless group. Over here, they're starving for a goal as the matchup between Rin versus Loki begins. And I'm super hyped for round 2, y'all, because Loki just smiles and saying, "Oh, same here." But that fight is gonna have to be for another day. Because we jump over to Isagi, and what is this camera angle on, bro? Nah! They purposefully try to do my goat dirty! But more importantly, we start getting Isagi's inner thoughts. He talks about how the way for the next goal has been decided, but nothing has really been resolved. He brings up Karasu and Hiori's goal earlier, saying that if they became aware of it once, it's hard to use it again. It has a low reproducibility. So Isagi says unless he becomes effective, nothing will change. And I like the motivational speech, Isagi, but actions speak louder than words. We need to see some results, dog. There is only one caveat to this, though, because he says the way of life known as number 2 is something he absolutely hates after all. And look who has appeared. The boss music starts as Hugo stands right behind Isagi, and Isagi's face of shock is one we can all see. Isagi got the "he's right behind me, isn't he" look. Hugo, on some ASMR timing, goes up to Isagi's ear and tells him number 2 is being an egoist too, you know. And peep this. I know y'all see Hugo is resting his chin on Isagi's shoulder. Man, this is just harassment at this point. He's invading his personal bubble. His to-do list only consists of gaslighting Isagi. This man's single purpose in life was to rage bait, bro. I'm hella dead. Hugo is still trying to infiltrate Isagi's mind by telling him being the number 1 isn't the only answer in life. And take a gander at Isagi's face. This is the face of someone who's truly scared. We see Isagi's body start to move, and bro slaps away Hugo from him. And look at the form here. His hand was so high. He was going for the elimination. He was aiming for his head. He literally took Thanos' advice. Isagi heard enough of Hugo and tried to end the conversation in another way. But as they stare each other down, Hugo says, "Listen to me, Isagi Oichi. Listen to his number 2 ego." So we're about to get another Hugo yap session coming into the next chapter. And Isagi is already dreading the thought of that, clenching his teeth and sweating as the chapter ends off there. But hold on, folks, because the next chapter title is called Double Joker. And oh my god, if that chapter title means what I think it means, it may be time, folks. The substitutions in the next chapter, specifically 2 players who have been called Joker in this manga. Everyone's been waiting for their time, and next week, we might just see that. But anyways, this chapter was very, very good. I love the Isagi and Karasu argument. Both were throwing strays at each other, just chucking straight bricks, arguing. I love the fact that the narrative is building up this split between BLUELOCK. One side believing in being an egoist, and the other side believing in making the best plays for the sake of BLUELOCK. Both are sort of right, because the OG BLUELOCK mentality has been working this whole time, and in the France game, Karasu's is obviously working because he just scored a goal. So now we got the big question, which side is more justified? As for my opinion, I said what I believed in my previous video, but no matter which side you think is right, the direction BLUELOCK is headed is so peak, they're literally fighting amongst themselves. I know what got everyone excited though is the next chapter's title. 338 is called Double Joker, which I think can really only mean one thing. Barou the King and Shido the Zesty Demon are incoming, and I never thought I would see the day. Honestly, them being on the pitch together, that could bring a tear to my face. The panels we're about to get from them is insane. I don't want to be 100% sure though, because we've seen Kaneshiro pull off bait chapter titles before, but logically speaking, what else could Double Joker mean? I've seen some people theorize saying Kunigami or maybe Reo copies Barou or Shido, so it's like a Double Joker formation, and kind of like the double Bachira thing we had in the Nigeria game. I honestly think next chapter can go in so many different directions that I'm not entirely sure, which I feel like is a good thing to be at with this manga. It's unpredictable. So let me know what your thoughts are for the next chapter, as well as this chapter, since there are two different sides for Blue Lock. Who do you think is right and who do you think is wrong? That about wraps it up for this video though. I'm super excited for next week's chapter. We're in for a banger with a chapter name like that. If you want my thoughts on the Blue Lock split or Civil War thing going on, make sure to click this video right here. But if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see y'all in the next one.